In a historic building, a historic day, the first time the Penn State Nittany Lions have ever been inside Fall League Pavilion. Just the second all-time meeting. And today they take on the hottest team in the Big Ten, the UCLA Bruins, winners of 6 in a row. A lot of close games in that stretch, a lot of exciting games, and at the heart of it, a lot of wins. Hi, everybody. Welcome courtside along.
But they're still playing. Been a lot of close games. We'll talk about that. But they're still competing and still giving all these teams all they want. Can they get over the hump and start winning some of these close games that they haven't been able to?
Penn State started 12-2, lost 8 of 9 and 4 straight. Meanwhile, for UCLA, they had the hot start, lost 4, and now have won 6 in a row. All 6 in the Pacific time zone.
Well, we talked about Marin getting confidence in that Wisconsin game. I think UCLA, and you and I were here, that Iowa game, they had lost 4 in a row, and they scored 94 on Iowa as Kobe Johnson gets the layup. I think both teams rely on turnovers, so it's not as simple as who gets the most turnovers in this one, but it will be a factor in determining this game. But talking to Mike Rhodes, guy, you and I, it was interesting to hear him talk about, because of the injuries, because of the guys that are still playing, how it's a very good free throw shooting league.
Yeah,
the Big Ten.
The top 2 by far and away. Izzo and Altman faced off earlier today. Back in. Here comes Nick Kern.
Well, you mentioned it, Penn State early clock, but you can't turn it over like Kern did there. UCLA is so good at getting in passing lanes.
And an early highlight for the Bruins. Daly behind his back to the Clark 3.
Playing much better on the offensive end.
Here's Ace Baldwin to Hicks and now to Kern. The best three-point shooter on the floor is Hicks. Kern forcing his way inside with a nice move.
Tough shot. Good ending for UCLA. A lot more balance, a lot more guys getting involved. They were really relying on Bilodeau, especially during that 4-game losing streak, for him to score.
Daly fouled by DeMarco Dunn.
Complexion of Wisconsin that they thought Mark could have an impact in that. Player gets an opportunity, they play well, it gives them confidence, and then
the key to this team, they need it.
They're, like we said, early clock. They shoot it at around 16 in that 30-second shot clock every time. One of the best percentages in the Big Ten.
Fast start for Sky Clark.
Good athlete. Just scratching the surface.
Wearing that brace on his right shoulder. He's got it now.
Missed all of the summer, a lot of the fall, just started playing.
Nice find and finish for Hicks. The freshman finds the senior.
Miscommunication by UCLA, which is offensively.
Ball's been moving today early for UCLA. Andrews can't hit the 3. Daly hits the deck.
Like we already mentioned how Penn State's trying to get in the lane. Well, with Mara in there now, you're going to have to do more of this.
Oh, Zach Hicks. That's what he does. 3rd in the league. Yep. Baldwin hounded by Andrews. Hicks splits the defense into traffic, and he's able to draw the foul on Sebastian
Washington.
You saw them in person the other
way, so you do everything to try and get them into the NCAA tournament, which I think they're in right now.
Dylan Andrews. Kern stays with him, so Andrews steps back, and Mara's there for the fresh 20.
Mara's got to go to work.
Gives it to Daly, and it goes down.
Well, you like the unselfish play, but if I'm 7'3", Mara, who's skilled.
Stewart just checked into the game and gave it back up. Freddie DeLeon, tough shot. Creates an offensive rebound opportunity and a scoring opportunity for Enza.
Enza went quick on Mara that time. He got him on the second jump and did the smart thing. Didn't wait, just went right back up while Mara was coming down.
Daly. How about last week or this week, Don? We had not just UCLA win on a Stefanovic.
Right, the bank's open. I said it. There you go.
No.
That's what you wanted. I know that's why you said it.
Oh, no. Mack.
And that's what he does. Straight line drives, looking for contact. If he doesn't get it, he finishes.
Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. A good start for you.
I'm not saying they're going to turn UCLA over 20 times, but they got to create some. if they're going to win this game.
They do get a lot of transition buckets, as you mentioned. Another three from Hicks.
You dictate the way the game's going to be played against Mick Cronin and UCLA. They usually dictate what the game's going to look like.
Mack goes flailing inside and draws the foul. Mike Reed, Brian Dorsey, Randy Richardson,
and it's also
officials today.
Sorry.
Sebastian Mack, a 75% free throw shooter, misses the first.
And normally when your leading scorer hasn't scored after 8, UCLA did a good job staying with Hicks on that action up top.
Ghost screen being.
You look like you're going to set a screen and you just run right through it. You ghost it.
Bilodeau, powerful move inside. It's hard to imagine when you brought up UCLA basketball a few weeks ago, people would go, it can't get any worse. And it's only gotten better.
Live ball turnovers can't happen for Penn State. Mack jump in the passing lane, throws it ahead to Sky Clark for the easy dunk. 2 in a row here.
Another one. Kobe Johnson. See, so 3 times they've gotten a team off a loss to SC, and they've won in that streak.
Kobe Johnson just took it.
And that's the only thing that prevented the shot clock violation, and 3 straight transition back.
And get him a good shot. One of the best assist guys in the league and in the country.
Here's Kobe Johnson. A bounce in his step, and it gets goaltended by Miles Goodman, who tapped it while it was on the delay. We're under 8 to go first half.
UCLA doesn't rely on the 3 to win games either, but you have to have offensive balance.
Kern settles things down a little bit. Big shot. They needed that.
They got guys that can really get their own, especially deep into the paint. Not a lot of pull-ups. Let's get 2 feet in the paint and make something happen. Kern with a big bucket for Penn State there.
Matt, quick moves, and he draws the foul. Sebastian Mack.
It's not like we were a 12th seed.
Penn State team led by head coach Bruce Parkhill, who stepped away just a few games away from becoming Penn State's all-time winningest coach a few years after that. Here's Kern.
And he's got a good burst, doesn't he? I think they're just going to go 5 out, spread it out, and try and drive it now. Kern had that. If you've been around Mick Cronin like we have since he's gotten here, that may be the big. If you could pick one category,
yeah,
it would be turnover.
Sebastian Mack beats the shot clock buzzer with the 3.
Now, the one thing that's different with Mack this year, he was primarily almost 100% of the time driving last year. Kern again. But Mack is at least to do anyway.
After the foul.
Plans for the Super Bowl tomorrow.
Well, a rare day game. And at that time, Mack cannot make Penn State pay. Now Ace Baldwin looking for his first basket of the day. And the cleanup goes down from Hicks.
That's what I'm talking about with Penn State. They know they got guys out. They know guys are banged up, but they continue.
Well, if we get to the end of 40 minutes and that's the only turnover, and then we could revisit an asterisk.
Right.
Mack breaking out. Daly running with him, and Mack draws the foul on Baldwin. That's number 2.
Cronin he doesn't deal with it. If you turn it over, and a big reason if you go back a few years to win the game. Manufactured buckets.
Sorry. That would have been an all-timer if that had gone down. They tried to draw the foul on the 3 and almost made it. And there is Freddie DeLeon.
Well, if you want to nitpick, I think one thing UCLA hasn't done a good job of in this first half is when they miss is getting back and walling up and preventing Penn State's players from getting
5% shooter.
I'm sure at some point today standings in the Big Ten tournament and the ramifications of seeding. Shots are hard. Like to be really consistent, those little 6, 7, 8 footers fading away, probably with some contact. And you're going to make 1 or 2, but it's hard to be really consistent with those shots.
Kobe Johnson now with 8. Most of the scoring has come from Hicks and Kern. They've got 20 of the 26 points for Penn State. Stewart.
Another good-looking freshman. Mike Rhodes told us he thinks consistently. Same thing I just said about Penn State. You're going to score some, but can you really score every time you turn your back to a defender? Pro guys don't even. Some do, but not all pro guys are good at that.
Bilodeau gets deep position, and that time he does score. You know, Oregon's got to find its way.
Lost 5 in a row now.
Out of the timeout, Will Kyle.
Really good execution on the high-low. The play was designed for that, for Kyle to get it on the roll, get confusion with the defenders on Penn State. Easy dunk for him.
So now Ace Baldwin back in the game, Don. No points for the Penn State star.
Well, you looking at the box score, you would think if you didn't know the score that Penn State would be down more than they are. Big shot there by Stewart, really commanding lead.
Penn State shooting at almost 50%. But look at that stat on the screen, 17-0 points off turnovers. Kobe Johnson for Penn State today. Injured his ankle 6 days ago in practice, so he's missing his second straight.
Zone for Penn State here on this possession.
Final 30 seconds of the half. Sky Clark.
Rarely do you see a guy beat a zone from the top, but Sky Clark just did. All the way to the rim.
Shot clock is off. Stewart.
UCLA's got fouls to give.
Hicks will take a deep three and misses it short, and that is how the first half ends. So Penn State was hanging in.
Deals that have led to layups on the other end.
Again, no Yannick Conan Niederhauser for Penn State for the second straight game, and Ace Baldwin made the decision at halftime to get a Gretz Hicks. And now Nick Kern.
Point blank layup for Daly on the putback. Couldn't get it to go down. Good sign that Kern's back in the game too. He went to the locker room in the first half.
DeMarco Dunn hits the three.
Great start for
Baldwin lines up a three. And an offensive rebound for Dunn.
I like that from Kern though. Get 2 feet in the paint and spray it out.
And on the re-tee, Bilodeau wide open inside.
Design play. UCLA had a 4-on-2, but because they do not want to turn it over as Bilodeau gets the left-hand finish, they don't take chances in transition like you could have made. So these guys are conditioned now to make good decisions, not take risks, and not turn it over.
Daly, who created that one with his back, up ahead to Andrews, another dunk.
Now this is different, a little different for UCLA. Force the issue, just won't.
Daly. And Kyle can't clean up the dunk. And Daly gets it back.
Nice pass.
And Kyle won't miss twice.
Oh, true.
Do you think he would say that Don McLean loves ball movement?
Yes. As long as the ball ended up in my hands.
One-way ball movement as Baldwin gets the basket. The skill that he didn't love probably that you had when you played for him, he loves now. We love now, which was
being candid.
Yeah, you talk a lot. Yeah. Sky Clark hits the three in the first half, but misses badly there. 7 minutes gone by here in the second. Kobe Johnson and one.
Dollar, Tyus Edney. Yeah, Tyus Edney was on that team too.
As well. All of them will have come in the Pacific time zone.
Okay, but and yeah, there's probably something to that. We're going to find out because they go to Illinois and Indiana next week. If it had to do with being on the West Coast or not, can they continue to play?
Article has told us that in that game, the one turnover was controversial.
Well, we'll see if UCLA doesn't turn it over again. This last 11 minutes, then we have something to keep talking about. But nonetheless, I think Mick Cronin, even if they do turn it over a couple more times, will still be pleased. can stay under 5 turnovers in a game. I wonder what that winning percentage is.
Oh, here's Mara. Quick pass. Just flicked it, but another 20.
Again.
Everyone around him, 3 defenders, and he draws the foul. What are you supposed to do?
Well, what was his mistake there, though? Even when second defenders come, nobody can get to where he's releasing it from. Free throw line. Look, it's hard to make free throws when you don't play a lot. But Purdue seems to be rolling at this point. You go into Mackey and beat them right now, you're doing something.
And there is the 10th rebound for Kobe Johnson, his first career double-double, and he adds an assist. And Stefanovic. Well, Baldwin just has not been able to find the offense today.
You know,
This team, Penn State is number 3 in the nation.
Right.
Penn State's 3.
It's incredible.
Guy Mara just hovering in the lane.
Almost saying, yeah, come on, come drive it, see what happens.
Hicks with the nice basket anyway. Kobe Johnson, amazing, his first career double-double. That surprises me today. It's his first game.
That is surprising.
Yeah.
Well, the one thing that we haven't talked about since the first half is Penn State hasn't. Scott Clark goes up top to Mara. Penn State hasn't been able to press it all because they haven't scored enough.
Right.
We have 47 points. Come in averaging over 81.
And they're already pressing less because of their depth. Well, the tough stretch that the team is going through. He did have an appreciation for his first trip here to Pauley Pavilion.
It's interesting talking to coaches that we have that have come in here and their reaction to it and how they always wanted to see it.
13th season since the remodel. Great job. Does it still hold some of the aura here?
It does. Mishelovitz is also trying to keep some of the old stuff, like the jump circle they could have changed. They didn't change that. That's always been that way.
Were the benches on the other side, or was this the
benches have always been where the what's interesting is the locker rooms are different.
But you guys were you on the Penn State bench? Or the benches were the same place?
The benches
you just walked
were the
across.
same place, yeah.
4 minutes remaining here in regulation. You know, we've seen some really good crowds here from.
In this town, you have to win for people to show up, and I think, and I don't think it's everybody's coming to watch Penn State. No offense.
Today they'll be tied with Wisconsin, but have the head-to-head tiebreaker there. It's funny to look at the schedule and say we're coming down the stretch, and still how many big games still remain.
We saw them early in Big Ten play, and they look, like you said, like they look like
2 years building that up at Oregon State, and now UCLA is first year. Now they missed. Illinois had some, you know, Yakachonis missed a couple games. Ivicic missed a couple games. They haven't been whole the whole time, and that'll be UCLA's next opponent.
Yeah,
going to Illinois.
That
is a interesting note. So the portal, the new era, helping UCLA.
Well, it really hasn't changed at all. It's just the portal has become made transferring more prevalent, and so UCLA can get them into regular festival. They have 8 quad 1 wins, but they've lost 5 games in a row.
It's still the most quad 1 wins in the league.
Yeah, I don't know. I was surprised, and give Nebraska credit. They went in there and beat them, but based on they had been losing games, to lose at home to Nebraska, knowing that you had Michigan and Michigan State on the road coming up.
Well, Penn State, shorthanded, came out ready to play. UCLA did not let up, and another complete performance from the Bruins, who turned it over just 3 times for the second game in a row and remained the hottest team in the league with 7 straight wins. And Mick Cronin's group backing up the 4-game losing streak, a streak in which they'd lost not just 4 in a row, but 5 of 6, and they have turned